The Crimson Veil, a cat's stoic reckoning. I was 40 when Mara torched my world, standing in the wreckage of my cliffside shack as the sun bled red over the horizon, the sea roaring like a beast unleashed. Ash, my wiry black cat with eyes like glowing embers, prowled the splintered porch, his tail slashing the air like a whip. Her voice still seared my skull, sharp as a dagger from that morning. "You're nothing without me. I'm done." She'd flung a lit match into the gasoline-soaked pile of my life, my books, my clothes, my dreams, and laughed as it blazed, her silhouette vanishing down the gravel path as sirens wailed in the distance. I didn't run after her, not with my fists, but my soul howled, clawing at the ashes of every sacrifice I'd made. Years of loyalty, nights I'd carried her through her own darkness, all reduced to a smoldering ruin. Ash didn't blink, just stalked through the smoke, his ember eyes cutting through the haze like twin suns. I'd always figured revenge was the play. Track her down, make her pay, burn her world like she'd burn mine. I'd pictured it 1,000 times that day, fists clenched, plotting to storm her pristine city loft with a Molotov of my own, watching her scream as flames licked her designer life away. Ash leapt onto a charred beam then, unbothered by the heat, sniffing the ashes before climbing higher. Calm, untouchable, a king in chaos. That's when it hit me like a thunderbolt. What if I don't strike back? What if I rise from this, bigger, wilder, a force she can't escape? The idea roared through me, and as Ash perched above, his gaze searing into mine, I chose a path of madness and mastery. Not vengeance, but a reckoning. Ash, my stoic inferno, would lead me, and the battered philosophy I'd clung to since my broke-ass 20s, stoicism, would be my forge. The fire didn't break me, it lit the fuse. Mara thought she'd gutted me, left me a hollowed-out shell, sobbing in the wreckage. She'd always loved that power, twisting me into her puppet, expecting me to grovel now that she'd lit the match. Weak men crumble. I ignite, I swore, Ash my witness. When a storm once ripped the shack's roof half off, he didn't hide, just hunted through the chaos, king of the ruin. I'm unbreakable, I growled. Marcus Aurelius's words of war drummed my chest. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. I didn't call her, didn't curse her name. I grabbed my boots, still smoking from the blaze, and ran the cliffs until my lungs screamed, the sea's salt mixing with my sweat. She texted that night, "Sorry it ended like this," and I shot back, cold as ice. Ended? I'm just starting. No begging, no rage, just a promise. She'll wonder what monster she's unleashed. I knew, her mind already twisting. Why isn't he broken? I didn't flee the flames, I danced in them, and that was the first spark of my inferno. Her betrayal wasn't my grave, it was my crucible. I'd spent too long in my 30s playing it safe, dead-end jobs hauling fish crates, nights wasted on cheap whiskey, bending to women like Mara who'd drain me dry. She thought I'd stay that man, a charred husk waiting for her pity. Ash showed me otherwise. When a rival Tom slashed his ear bloody, he didn't retreat. He stalked back, claimed the cliffs, his scars a crown. On my own fire, I vowed, and I turned the ashes into fuel. I ran harder, miles stretching into marathons, my legs steel cables by dawn. I wrote like a madman, furious tales of betrayal and triumph. Pages piling up in a tent, I pitched among the wreckage. Pain's my forge, I thought, Seneca's voice a blade. Fire tests gold. Adversity tests the strong. I didn't curse her or crawl. I stood in the ruin and built a titan, a man she'd never fathom. I didn't vanish from her sight. I blazed into it, a phoenix she couldn't ignore. Mara figured I'd slink away, Another loser she'd crushed, fading into the cliffs like a ghost. Certainty's a cage. Chaos is king. I learned, Ash my guide. When I tossed out his old mat, he didn't sulk, just claimed the tent's peak, regal in the shift. I'm the storm she didn't see coming, I declared, staying loud, posting shots of me running cliffs at sunrise, sweat gleaming like war paint, grinning with dockhands over beers so cold they frosted my knuckles. She called, "You're different," and I laughed, low and sharp. "You lit the match. She'll choke on her own doubts." I sensed psychology's truth blazing. People fear what they can't predict. I didn't hide or whimper. I rose in her face, a crimson veil she couldn't pierce. I didn't shrink into silence. I roared into the world, and that heat scorched her smugness. They chase what burns bright. I realized, Ash my proof. When he'd leaped through the shack's wreckage, strays followed, drawn to his ember glow. I'm a wildfire, I swore, crashing into life, befriending smugglers with scars deeper than mine, trading tales with poets who'd slit throats for a rhyme, my presence a furnace. A grainy video hit the web, me shirtless, hauling a net with fishermen, muscles rippling, laughing like a warlord. She commented, "Wild." I didn't answer. She'll see I'm a prize others fight for. I thought, social proof of Molotov in her mind. If they want him, what did I lose? I didn't retreat or fade. My fire spread, and she felt the burn. I didn't ghost her. I turned Arctic, and that frostbite stung worse than any blaze. Silence is weak. Cold command is power, I saw, Ash my mirror. When lightning cracked the sky, he'd sit, ember eyes unyielding, a statue in the storm. A mice in flame, I promised her, "You okay?" Met with thriving, clipped brutal my rhythmic guillotine. She'd bet on me disappearing or exploding. I gave her neither, my voice a glacier, my focus a blade. She'll feel like a shadow, I knew, her head spinning. Why doesn't he care? I've been a hothead once. Fights in my 20s, tears in my 30s, but not now. I didn't dodge or grovel. My chill was a reckoning, a wall she couldn't climb. I didn't run. I stood blazing, and that scarcity made her claw for me. They hunt what's untamed. I learned, Ash my spark. When I'd vanished to the docks, he'd roam, forcing me to track his glow. I'm the inferno she can't hold. I roared, her I messed up met with "Did you?" Sharp, then silence. My pace a predator's stride. Desire's born in the chase. I understood that primal fear of losing a wildfire raging in her. Can I catch him? I didn't flee or beg. My rare heat pulled her in, a flame she'd bleed to touch. I didn't slink away. I strode through the inferno, and that exit was my throne. Kings don't cower. They conquer, I saw, Ash my creed. When night fell, he'd prowl, free as hell. I'm a reckoning. I declared her, "We need to talk," hit with maybe later, cool, final, my worth a fortress. She'll feel the void I don't fill, I knew, Epictetus' growl steadying me. Freedom is not needing what you can't have. I chased too much before, jobs, women, approval, but not here. I didn't play or linger. My march was a blaze she couldn't douse, a crown she'd never wear. I didn't scream, I conquered, and that victory was my inferno. Triumph is a silent roar. I saw, Ash my map. After a rival drove him off once, he returned, claws bloodied, ruler of the cliffs. My fire consumes, I vowed, my body a weapon from endless runs, my stories of wildfire publishers fought over, my tent a warlord's lair. She saw it online, me, carved from chaos, surrounded by a crew of rogues, soaring like a god, and her silence screamed envy. What did I unleash? I didn't taunt or prove. My ascent was her hell, her match now my empire. I didn't claw her back. I towered above, and that singularity was my crimson veil. She'll never find my equal, I knew. Ash my echo, no cat matches ember glare. I'm the veil, I swore, my purpose, cliff sink a life untamed, my soul. Kings don't kneel, I thought her, I was wrong, lost in the wind, my path inferno's edge. I've been a nobody once, dot grunt, barfly, but not now. I didn't chase or crave, my blaze was mine alone, reckoning she'd never outrun. A year later, ash stalks the cliffs, ember eyes piercing the dawn, while I write by the sea's fury, my tent a forge of glory. Mara's calls, can we fix this? Die unanswered, her regret ash in my wake. The docs bow to me, my books burn up the charts. I'm stoiccat, forged in her fire, veiled in crimson. She burned me alive, I rose as her inferno. Power wasn't in striking back, it was in me, unbowed, unleashed a force she'll never tame. I am the blaze, I whisper, my empire a reckoning eternal.